Obiageli has fallen again. At the hearing of the news that Obiageli had fallen, everyone began to run away from her presence for fear of what was to come. Most especially those who had a skeleton in their cupboard. Some evil deed they had done somewhere somehow. Once upon a time in Africa, in the kingdom of Nakoko, in the land of the living, there lived a young and beautiful girl named Obiageli, the daughter of a Kwesi, with long coiled hair the people called Dada. Obiageli was the first girl in the village with blue eyes. She seemed to be unique. Obiageli grew up experiencing a phenomenon that everyone found very difficult to understand. All the kingdom's best sorcerers had tried to no avail to figure out the cause of what was amiss with Obiageli. It was not the falling down of Obiageli in the village that was a problem to the king or the villagers. It was what came out of her that was the major problem. It was reported that when Obiageli fell down, she immediately went into a trance, and while in the state of trance, she began to see ancient things, heard stories, and the secret of whoever was nearby. As a result of this, many people termed her an evil child, a demon, a curse to the village. Some of her revelations had led to the breakup of many homes, as those women and men committing adultery were revealed. Timothy, for instance, had been carrying on an affair with his neighbor's wife while the man was away working in the farm. Obiageli, in one of her trances, had revealed their secret, causing an uproar that resulted in the couple's separation and Timothy's disgrace. Then there was Wesi, who had been responsible for all the missing goats in the village. He loved eating goat meat pepper soup, and he had been stealing the goats to satisfy his cravings. Obiageli exposed him during one of her episodes, and Wesi was ostracized from the community. The kingdom of Nakoko was in turmoil. People lived in fear of their secrets being exposed whenever Obiageli fell into a trance. The king himself was not exempt from this fear, as he had his own hidden sins. The sorcerers, despite their best efforts, could not understand why Obiageli fell or why she went into these trances. The question of why Obiageli fell down and went into trance mode was finally revealed by accident when she happened to be near a basin of water. When she saw water, she fell down uncontrollably and switched into trance mode. This condition perplexed everyone in the kingdom. To protect her from this condition, her parents built a giant wooden box cart attached to a bicycle to take her out on visits to nearby villages without her seeing water. Obiageli was always at home, away from seeing water. She drank water from a jar and bathed while blindfolded. This condition made all suitors run away from her, branding her a witch, a demon, or Ogbanje, a water goddess. The villagers whispered among themselves, speaking of old legends about water goddesses, spirits believed to be tied to water bodies, who could bring both fortune and misfortunes. Women in particular were wary of Obiageli. They believed she was a water goddess, an Ogbanje, who could bring ruin to their lives. This belief was rooted in an old myth that water goddesses had the power to control destinies and expose hidden truths. This fear was exacerbated by Obiageli's ability to reveal secrets, leading to the breakup of families and friendships. Obiageli, on one occasion while in trance, told her parents not to worry about a suitor for her, saying, "My husband is coming, a man with a long tin, rejected by all the women in his village because of the size of his thin manhood. I will take him." Her parents were skeptical, but they had no choice but to believe her. Years passed and no suitor came for Obiageli. She remained secluded in her home, her only company being her parents and the few friends who did not fear her condition. Then one day, a man named Nnadi arrived in the village. He was tall and handsome, but he carried a reputation that preceded him. The women in his village had rejected him because of the size of his manhood. But Obiageli had seen him in her trance and knew he was the one for her. Nnadi had heard of Obiageli and her condition, but he was not deterred. He approached Ekwesi and asked for her hand in marriage. "I have seen her in my dreams," he said. "She is the one for me." Ekwesi and his wife were hesitant, but they remembered Obiageli's words and agreed. The wedding was a simple affair, attended only by close family and friends. Obiageli was taken away blindfolded by her husband, who had learned how to manage the condition of his wife. They traveled to Nnadi's village, where Obiageli was introduced as his wife. The villagers were initially wary of her, but they soon came to see her as a blessing rather than a curse. Nnadi and Obiageli lived happily together. Nnadi built a house for them far away from any water sources, and he made sure that Obiageli was never exposed to water. He brought her water in jars and helped her bathe while blindfolded. Obiageli in turn used her gift to help the people of Nnadi's village. She revealed secrets that led to justice and harmony, and the villagers came to respect and love her. One such revelation involved Shike, a respected elder in the village who had been secretly stealing from the communal granary. Obiageli exposed him during one of her trances, leading to his shame and expulsion from the village. Another time, she revealed the hidden infidelity of Anayo, a young man whose affair with a married woman was causing strife in the village. The truth brought an end to the affairs and restored peace. Obiageli's parents visited often, traveling in the wooden cart to avoid exposing her to water. They were pleased to see their daughter happy and accepted. The fear and suspicion that had plagued her in Nakoko were gone, replaced by love and gratitude. Despite the happiness they found in Nnadi's village, the shadow of Obiageli's condition always loomed over them. There was an incident when a severe drought hit the village. The villagers, desperate for water, had to dig deep wells. During this time, Obiageli's trance-induced revelations became a source of hope. She foretold where the water could be found, and her visions led the villagers to an underground spring that saved them. As Obiageli grew older, she started to understand more about her condition. She realized that her trances were not just a curse, but also a gift that could be used to help people. Her visions became more controlled, and she began to see them as a way to connect with the spirits of her ancestors, who guided her in revealing truths and protecting her loved ones. The village elders began to respect her more, and she became a reverend figure in the village. Her reputation spread far and wide, and people from other villages started to come to her for guidance and help. Obiageli's fame grew, and with it, the fear of her condition lessened. People began to see her as a bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm. One day, a group of travelers from a distant land arrived in the village. They had heard of Obiageli's gift and sought for her help. They brought news of a looming cause that threatened their kingdom. The travelers spoke of a malevolent spirit that had been unleashed, causing chaos and destruction. Obiageli, through her trances, was able to see the source of the cause. She revealed that it was tied to an ancient artifact that had been disturbed. The artifact needed to be returned to its rightful place, and a ritual had to be performed to appease the spirits. With Nnadi by her side, Obiageli traveled with the travelers to their kingdom. The journey was long and arduous, but Obiageli's visions guided them. They reached the site of the artifact and performed the ritual. The spirits were appeased and the curse was lifted. The travelers were grateful, and they returned to their kingdom with Obiageli, who was now seen as a powerful and benevolent figure. Years passed, and Obiageli and Nnadi had children of their own. Their children inherited their mother's blue eyes and their father's strength. They grew up in a village that loved and respected them, far from the fear and suspicion of Nakoko. As their children grew, Obiageli and Nnadi taught them about their unique heritage. They instilled in them the values of honesty, compassion, and respect for the spirits. Obiageli's children, like their mother, possessed special gifts. They were able to see visions and connect with the spiritual realm, and they used their abilities to help others. Obiageli's legacy lived on through her children. She continued to use her gift to guide and protect her family and her village. Her visions brought peace and harmony to those around her, and she was remembered as a wise and benevolent figure. And so, the girl who never saw water found happiness and acceptance in a place where she was not seen as a curse, but as a blessing. But the story does not end here. There are still mysteries to uncover and secrets to reveal. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.